Calcium channel blocker, part 2. Chest tube. The purpose of a chest tube is to reestablish negative pressure into the pleural space so that the lungs expands when the chest wall moves. So the pleural space is a place where negative is good. When you get a chest tube question, look at the reason for which it has place. In the pneumothorax, the chest tube removes air. Pneumo means air. In a pneumothorax, air created the positive pressure. So I gotta put chest tube in to remove air so I can reestablish the negative pressure. In the hemothorax, the chest tube removes blood. In the pneumothorax, the chest tube removes air and blood. In NCLEX, if boards give you a question and says that you have a patient with pneumo with chest tubes in for a hemothorax, what would you report to doctor? 1. The chest tube is not bubbling. 2. The chest tube drained 800 ml in first 10 hours. 3. Chest tube is not draining. 4. Chest tube is not intermittently bubbling. The answer is number 3. Chest tube is not draining because hemo means blood. If boards give you a question and says that you have a patient with pneumo with chest tubes in for a pneumothorax, what would you report to doctor? 1. The chest tube is not bubbling. 2. The chest tube drained 800 ml in first 10 hours. 3. Chest tube is not draining. 4. Chest tube is not intermittently bubbling. The answers are number 1. The chest tube is not bubbling. It's not doing what it's supposed to do, which is to bubble. Second, the chest tube drained 800 ml in first 10 hours. It's doing something it's not supposed to do. If you're gonna get chest tube questions, pay attention to the disease for which it was placed. Pay attention also to the location of the tube. Location of the tube. First, we have apical. Apex means the tube is way up high. And if you put a chest tube way up high, you're gonna remove air because air rises. So apical removes air. A in the word apical means air. Second location, we have basilar. They are at the bottom of the lungs. They will remove blood because blood is subject to gravity. B in the word basilar means blood. So for the location of the tube, we have apical, air, basilar, blood. So if they say your apical tube is draining 300 ml per hour, it is bad. Your basilar is draining 200 ml per hour, it is good. Apical tube is not bubbling, bad. Apical tube is bubbling, good. Basilar tube is not bubbling, good. Basilar tube is bubbling, bad. So what would they put in for a hemo, basilar or blood? What would they put in for a pneumo, apical or air? What would they put in for a pneumo-hemo? One of each. Examples. Example number 1. How many chest tubes and where would you place them for a unilateral pneumohemothorax? Answer is 2. Apical for the pneumo and basilar for the hemo. Second example. How many chest tubes and where would you place them for a bilateral pneumo? Answer is 2. Both apical, right and left. Third questions. How many chest tubes and where would you place them for post-op chest surgery? Answer is 2. Apical and basilar on the side of the surgery because you are to assume that chest surgery or trauma is unilateral pneumohemothorax unless otherwise specified. Chest trauma, chest surgery are unilateral. The only time you're taking care of bilateral is when they say it's bilateral. Trick question. How many chest tubes would you need and where would you place them for a post-op right pneumonectomy? The answer is none, because pneumonectomy is removal of the lung. Troubleshooting. What do you do if the water seal breaks? Positive pressure can get in the pleural space. First, clamp it so nothing gets in. Second, cut tube away from broken device because it's not good anymore. Third, submerge end of the tube that has been cut away under sterile water. Fourth, unclamp it because now you re-established the water seal. In board exam, if they're asking you what to do first, choose clamp it. If they're asking you what's best to do, choose submerge end of the tube that has been cut away under sterile water. It's better for the tube to be underwater than for the tube to be clamped because air can go in, but stuff can come out. If it's clamped, nothing can go in and out. Clamping is only a stopgap measure, but it doesn't solve the problem. For the click and drag questions, when the water seal breaks, clamp, cut, submerge, unclamp. Notice that it's alphabetical order. What do you do if the water seal breaks? What's the first order or thing you're gonna do when the water seal breaks? Clamp the tube. What's the best thing you're gonna do when the water seals break? Best thing means the one that you would do if you could only do one. That is to submerge the end of the tube under sterile water because it solved the problem by establishing the water seal. What do you do if the chest tube comes out? First, cover with glove hand. Best, cover the hole with Vaseline gauze, put a dry sterile dressing on the top, then tape on 3 sides. NCLEX bubbling questions. Ask yourself 2 questions. 1. Where is it bubbling? 2. When it is bubbling. For example, water seal, intermittent. The answer, intermittent bubbling in the water seal. It's good, so document it. Second example, water seal is continuous. The answer is bad. It means there's a leak. You have to find it and tape it until it stops leaking. Another example is suction control chamber is intermittent. It is bad. It means suction is not high enough. Another example we have suction control chamber that is continuous. Continuous suction control chamber is good. Document it. So, to summarize, if something is sealed, water seal, should you have a continuous bubbles? No. That means it's leaking or it's bad. So, intermittent in the seal or water seal is good. And the suction control is the opposite. In a chest tube, when it's bubbling continuously, the water seal is broken. It's bad. Rules for clamping tube. Never clamp a chest tube for longer than 15 seconds without the doctor's order. Second, use rubber tip double clamps.